Hello everyone, I'm Dr. David. I'm in my 60s now, and for more than 3 decades, I've worked with patients of all ages, especially older adults and retirees. Today, I want to talk with you about a topic that almost every senior asks me at some point. Which vitamins should I take and which ones should I avoid over the past few decades? Taking vitamins and supplements has become a daily habit for millions of older adults. Those little capsules are often seen as the secret key to staying young, keeping your energy up, and protecting your brain. But here's the truth most people don't hear in the commercials. Not every vitamin is good for you, and when used the wrong way, some of them can quietly harm your heart, liver, and kidneys, even shorten your lifespan. At major hospitals in the U.S., like the Cleveland Clinic and Johns Hopkins, doctors are seeing more and more cases of older adults hospitalized from complications caused by overusing supplements. Take Mrs. Helen, 79. She believed her premium multivitamin was the secret to staying healthy, but after years of daily use, her liver began to fail, her skin turned yellow, she felt constantly fatigued. The cause wasn't disease, it was vitamin overload, too much vitamin A and B6 building up in her body. Then there's George, 72. He took 1,000 IU of vitamin E every day because he'd heard it was good for the heart. A few months later, he ended up in the ER with internal bleeding and a blood clotting disorder, all because high-dose vitamin E had thinned his blood too much. On the other hand, some people have the opposite problem. They're deficient in vitamins they truly need. Like Mrs. Margaret, 75, who came to me worried she might have Alzheimer's. She kept forgetting things, losing focus, and feeling drained. But after a simple blood test, we found the real issue: a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. Within weeks of proper supplementation, her memory and mood noticeably improved. Stories like these remind us of something important. Vitamins aren't the enemy, and they're not magic either. The key is knowing what your body actually needs. So in this video, I'll walk you through which vitamins are truly beneficial for seniors and which ones can quietly do more harm than good. Because when used wisely, every capsule can be a source of life, but when misused, it can just as easily become a hidden toxin. 1. Iron when you're not anemic, Sometimes the things we believe are harmless can actually be dangerous, especially for our bodies after age 50. Today, I want to talk about something many people assume is good for health, but can be harmful if taken the wrong way. That's iron. I've met many patients who, when feeling tired or dizzy, immediately think I must be anemic, I probably need iron, so they start taking iron pills every day. Sounds reasonable? Right. But here's what most people don't realize. Our bodies have no natural way to get rid of excess iron. Think of it like this. Iron is a metal. It helps carry oxygen and gives us energy. But if you pour too much iron into a pipe, it rusts, oxidizes, and damages the whole system. The same thing happens inside your body. Extra iron doesn't just disappear, it builds up in your liver, heart, and even brain over time. That buildup causes inflammation, tissue damage, and increases the risk of heart disease, memory problems, and even dementia. I remember a patient named Mark, 68 years old. He came to see me feeling sluggish, with yellowish skin and a rapid heartbeat. Tests showed his liver was damaged from iron overload. When I asked, he smiled and said, "Doctor, I just wanted to be healthier, so I've been taking an iron pill every morning for the past 2 years." What Mark didn't know was that his body never needed the extra iron. He was unknowingly adding fuel to the fire. So here's what I want you to remember. Only take iron if your doctor confirms you're anemic due to iron deficiency. Not everyone who feels tired needs iron. Sometimes fatigue is caused by lack of sleep, dehydration, or simply the natural slowing of metabolism that comes with age. Taking extra iron when you don't need it is like pouring oil into a car engine that's already full. It doesn't help. It just causes damage. So, before you start taking iron supplements, pause for a moment, talk to your doctor, get a blood test, and find out what your body really needs. Because in medicine and in life, more isn't always better. Take care of your body with understanding, not with habit. And I promise you, just by doing that, you're already halfway to a healthy, clear-minded, and energetic old age. 2. Synthetic beta-carotene, fake vitamin A. Sometimes, What nature gives us is far more perfect than any pill we can make in a lab. Today, I want to talk about synthetic beta-carotene, the so-called fake vitamin A, something many people still take every day, believing it will improve their eyesight, beautify their skin, and slow down aging. But the truth isn't that simple. Let me paint a picture for you. One of my patients, Linda, 64 years old, is someone who truly cares about her health. Every morning, she takes a multivitamin labeled with beta-carotene for eye health and antioxidant support. She doesn't smoke, but her husband does. After a few years, during a routine checkup, her doctor noticed early signs of lung damage. And the surprising part, the very beta-carotene supplement, the good vitamin we thought was protective, may actually increase the risk of lung cancer, especially in people who smoke or are exposed to secondhand smoke. Why does that happen? Because natural beta-carotene, the kind found in carrots, pumpkin, and leafy greens, enters the body like a symphony. It comes together with hundreds of other plant compounds that help regulate oxidation and ensure your body converts only as much vitamin A as it truly needs. But when we isolate it in a lab and make synthetic beta-carotene, that natural harmony disappears. It's like listening to a song with only the drums, no melody, no vocals, just noise and imbalance. Science has proven this. Large studies, especially those involving smokers, have shown that taking synthetic beta-carotene supplements can actually increase the risk of lung cancer instead of protecting the body as once believed. I know most people don't mean any harm. They just want to take care of themselves, to do the right thing. But sometimes, the right thing doesn't come in a pill. It's in the simple meals we eat every day: a plate of greens, a fresh carrot, or a warm bowl of pumpkin soup. So if you're currently taking synthetic vitamin A or beta-carotene, pause for a moment. Think about getting your nutrients from real, natural food again. Our bodies were made to absorb nourishment from nature, not from a test tube. I've always believed that true health doesn't come from a bottle. It comes from the choices we make every single day. A carrot, a handful of greens, a deep, clean breath sometimes. Those are the best medicines you'll ever find. 3. High-dose vitamin E. 400 IU day. I know many of us tend to think the more vitamins, the better. One pill isn't enough. Take 2. One dose doesn't feel strong. Double it. But the human body doesn't work like a bottomless container that can hold everything we pour in. Sometimes, what we believe to be an antioxidant can actually become harmful, and high-dose vitamin E is a prime example. I once had a patient named Robert, 71 years old, who proudly told me, "Doctor, I never miss my vitamins, every day." He took vitamin E 800 IU, twice the recommended amount. He believed it would protect his heart, slow aging, and keep him young. Then, one day, Robert was admitted to the hospital with irregular heartbeat and chronic fatigue. Tests showed his blood levels of vitamin E were abnormally high. That excessive dose had turned from a protector into a pro-oxidant, attacking the very blood vessels it was supposed to shield. Multiple studies have shown that taking more than 400 IU of vitamin E per day doesn't help you live longer. In fact, it may increase the risk of early death. High doses can disrupt the body's natural balance, thin the blood, and raise the risk of bleeding, fatigue, and heart problems. I often tell my patients, if one glass of water quenches your thirst, drinking a whole bucket won't make you healthier, it'll just make you drown. Now, let's talk about mega multivitamins, those superdose pills you can find in almost any pharmacy. Many of them contain several times more than your body actually needs. And here's the problem: once your body has enough, anything extra isn't nutrition anymore. It becomes a burden. I once met a 66-year-old woman who took a super multivitamin every morning, convinced it would help her live longer. But over time, she started having trouble sleeping. Her heart raced, and she said she didn't feel like herself anymore. When we ran her tests, several vitamin and mineral levels were above the safe limit. Her body wasn't being protected. It was struggling to process the overload. Our bodies are delicate, finely tuned systems. They don't need more. They need enough. It's not the most expensive vitamin that keeps you healthy, and its true balance: good sleep, plenty of vegetables and fresh fruits, a bit of morning sunlight, and a peaceful heart. I always remind my patients, no pill can replace a healthy lifestyle. Let vitamins serve you, don't let them rule you. Because sometimes, When a good thing goes beyond its limits, it stops being good at all. 4. High-dose multivitamins, mega multivitamins. Have you ever noticed that every time you walk into a pharmacy, the shelves are filled with mega multivitamins, all wrapped in shiny labels and big promises? All-day energy boost, complete nutrition with 32 essential nutrients. Sounds great, doesn't it? But here's what they don't usually tell you sometimes. Too many vitamins can actually become a burden on your body, especially after the age of 60. I once had a patient named Carol, 72 years old. She came to see me because she felt constantly tired, had no appetite, and complained of a dull pain in her upper right abdomen. When I asked more, she said she took a mega multivitamin every day thinking it would balance everything out. But her blood test told a different story. Her liver was working overtime not because of alcohol or medication, but because of those seemingly harmless vitamin pills. Many mega multivitamins contain far more vitamin A, B6, E, and iron than the body of an older adult actually needs. And as you age, your liver, kidneys, and heart are no longer as efficient as they once were. Now, they're forced to process an excess of nutrients that your body can't use. The result: chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and unexplained fatigue. I often tell my patients, a healthy body doesn't need every vitamin in the world, only the ones it truly lacks. You might be wondering, so which kind should I take, doctor? The answer is simple. Older adults should choose multivitamins specifically made for seniors, often labeled senior formula. These are lower in dose, more balanced, and most importantly, gentle on the liver, heart, and kidneys. And whenever possible, let most of your vitamins come from food: a bowl of steamed vegetables, an apple, a piece of salmon, or even just a quiet morning in the sun. Nature has always known how to nourish us gently and wisely, more than any pill ever could. I'm not saying vitamins are bad. I just want you to understand this health doesn't come from taking more. It comes from knowing what you truly need. If there's one thing to remember today, let it be this. Growing older doesn't mean you need more pills. It means you need more wisdom. And sometimes, simplicity, that quiet sense of enough, is the most precious medicine for a peaceful, healthy old age. 5. High-dose vitamin B6. Pyridoxine over 100 millimillis a day. You know, some things in life are needed only in small amounts, just enough to keep everything running smoothly, like oil in a machine. But pour in too much, and that same oil can clog the whole system. Vitamin B6 works exactly like that. I remember one of my patients, Janet, 67 years old. She came to my office walking a little unsteadily, her hands tingling like they were full of tiny pins and needles. Worried, she asked me, "Doctor, do I have diabetes, or are my nerves wearing out?" But her blood sugar was perfectly normal. The problem was elsewhere. Her blood levels of vitamin B6 were several times higher than normal. It turned out she had been taking 200 milliliters of B6 every day, believing it would boost her energy, sharpen her memory, and strengthen her nerves. It made sense on paper. B6 is important for nerve health, but too much of it actually damages those very same nerves, causing numbness, loss of sensation, and in many cases, nerve damage that can't fully heal. The truth is, older adults don't need large doses of B6. In a normal diet with fish, bananas, chicken, potatoes, or whole grains, you're already getting enough for your brain and muscles to function well. But many people unknowingly take memory booster or fatigue relief supplements that each contain 50, 100, or even 200 milligrams, far beyond the safe limit. Think of it this way: B6 is like electricity in your house, essential to keep things running. But if the current gets too strong, it burns the wires. And once those wires, your nerves, are damaged, recovery is difficult, especially after 60. So if you're taking vitamin B6, check your dosage. Keep it under 50 milligrams per day, unless your doctor specifically prescribes otherwise for a clear medical reason. Don't let the desire to be healthier end up costing you the feeling in your own hands and feet. I know we all want to do good things for our bodies, but sometimes the wisest choice is knowing when to stop. Let vitamins be your companion, not your controller. Because health doesn't always come from adding more sometimes. It comes from knowing when you already have enough. If you've ever felt tingling or numbness in your hands or feet for no clear reason, don't just blame it on age. It might be your body's gentle way of saying, "I've had enough." 5. Vitamins and nutrients. Seniors should take 1. Vitamin B12 in the methylcobalamin form. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you were there, or started telling a story, only to stop mid-sentence because you couldn't remember what you were saying, if that sounds familiar? You're not alone. It's something I hear often from my patients over 50, and surprisingly, the cause isn't always memory loss. Sometimes, it's something much smaller, something as simple as vitamin B12. Vitamin B12, also known as methylcobalamin, is one of the most essential nutrients for your brain, energy, and nervous system. Think of it as the electrical wiring that connects everything in your body, from how you think and feel to how your muscles move. But as we age, our ability to absorb B12 drops significantly. I remember one of my patients, Harold, a 74-year-old man who came to me complaining of fatigue, forgetfulness, and that foggy feeling we often call senior moments. He was afraid it might be Alzheimer's, but after testing, we discovered something far simpler, a severe B12 deficiency. After a few months of supplementing with about 1,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin daily, his clarity returned, his energy lifted, and during a follow-up visit, he smiled and said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm 50 again. B12 doesn't just support memory, it also protects your nerves, reduces fatigue, and supports heart health." The problem is, even if older adults eat plenty of meat, eggs, or fish, they often can't absorb B12 well because their stomach produces less acid, which is needed to release the vitamin from food. That's why taking methylcobalamin, the most absorbable form of B12, is one of the simplest and safest ways to keep your mind sharp and your body energized after 60. A dose between 500 and 1,000 micrograms per day is often enough to make a noticeable difference. I often tell my patients, aging doesn't steal your memory, deficiency does. So if you've been feeling tired, foggy, or forgetful, don't just blame old age. Your body might simply be asking for a little more B12, because sometimes the key to staying alert and joyful isn't a miracle drug. It's simply knowing what your body needs and giving it the right care. 2. CoQ10 in the ubiquinol form. When I ask my older patients, "What do you fear most about aging?" many of them say, "I'm afraid my body won't keep up, that my heart won't have the strength it used to." And I always tell them, if there's one nutrient that can help your heart work harder, stronger, and longer, it's CoQ10, especially in its active form. Ubiquinol, CoQ10 or coenzyme Q10, is a natural compound your body makes to create energy inside every cell. It's like the spark plug that keeps your cellular engines running. And your heart, which beats over 100,000 times a day, is the organ that needs that energy most. But here's the hard truth. After age 40, your body's natural CoQ10 levels begin to decline. By 60, they can drop to half of what they once were. And if you take statins, cholesterol-lowering drugs, your CoQ10 levels can fall even further. Because statins block the same pathway your body uses to make it. I'll never forget one patient, Richard, age 70. He said, "Doctor, I just don't have the energy anymore. I used to walk 30 minutes every morning. Now I can barely make it 10 before my heart starts racing." He didn't realize that the very statin he was taking to protect his heart was quietly draining his CoQ10, making his heart weaker. We started him on 100 to 200 milligrams of ubiquinol daily, and within weeks, he came back smiling, "Doctor, I'm walking around the lake with my wife again every morning." It wasn't a miracle, it was simply restoring what his body had lost. CoQ10 doesn't stimulate or force your body, it recharges it. It helps your cells produce energy more efficiently, strengthens the heart, sharpens the mind, and even helps muscles recover faster. And the ubiquinol form is the most active and bioavailable, ideal for people over 60 when metabolism naturally slows down. If you're taking statins, or often feel tired, weak, or short of breath, talk to your doctor about adding CoQ10, because sometimes what your heart needs isn't more medication, it's the energy it once knew how to make. CoQ10 doesn't just make your heart beat stronger, it helps your life beat stronger. And at 60, 70, or even 80, that spark of vitality can absolutely return, you just have to reignite it. 3. Vitamin D3, the sunshine nutrient that keeps you standing strong. I often ask my older patients, When was the last time you got a little sunshine? Most of them laugh and say, "Oh, doctor, I avoid the sun. I don't want dark skin or skin cancer." And I smile, because that very avoidance often leads to one of the most common and most dangerous deficiencies in older adults, vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 isn't just the sunshine vitamin. It's the key that unlocks calcium absorption, the very mineral that keeps your bones strong, your spine stable, and helps prevent fractures after a fall. But that's only part of the story. Studies from Harvard and the Mayo Clinic show that vitamin D3 also plays a vital role in immune health and brain function. Low D3 levels are linked to fatigue, muscle weakness, poor mood, frequent colds, and even a higher risk of depression. Here's the challenge. After age 60, our skin simply doesn't produce vitamin D as efficiently as it once did. Even if you spend 15 to 20 minutes in the sun, your body may only make a fraction of what it used to. And if you live in a cloudy region or use sunscreen regularly, as most people do, vitamin D deficiency becomes almost inevitable. I remember Eleanor, a 74-year-old woman who struggled with aching knees for months. She thought it was arthritis, but her lab tests revealed severely low vitamin D levels. After just 3 months of taking 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, her pain eased, her mobility improved, and most surprisingly, her mood lifted. Her smile returned after a long time hidden behind fatigue. For most adults over 60, I recommend 1,000 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, preferably with a meal that contains healthy fats for better absorption. If you rarely get sunlight or have bone or joint issues, a slightly higher dose may help, but always confirm with blood tests to stay within safe limits. Vitamin D3 doesn't just make your bones stronger, it brightens your mood, strengthens your immunity, and helps you live more actively. Because sometimes, all it takes is a bit of sunshine or a small D3 capsule to help you stand tall, smile wider, and enjoy life more fully. 4. Omega-3 EPA and DHA from fish oil or algae oil, fuel for the heart and mind. I'll never forget one patient, Robert, age 68. He told me, "Doctor, my heart still beats fine, but my mind, it comes and goes, and honestly, I just don't feel like myself anymore." So I asked him, "Robert, do you eat fish?" He chuckled, "Not really, I'm more of a steak guy. Fish just smells too fishy." And that's how another familiar story began, one I've seen countless times over 30 years, omega-3 deficiency. Omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, are what I call the good fats your body can't make but can't live without. They're like lubrication for your heart, brain, and every cell membrane. They calm hidden inflammation in blood vessels, lower triglycerides, reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke, and sharpen memory and mood. Research from Harvard and Mayo Clinic shows that people with higher omega-3 levels often have brains that are 3 to 5 years younger than those who don't, and they're less likely to experience cognitive decline. I saw this clearly in one of my patients, Linda, age 73, she told me. "Doctor, I just feel sad for no reason, and lately, I snap at people over nothing." Her omega-3 levels were very low. I recommended 1,000 milligrams daily from purified fish oil or algae oil if she preferred a plant-based, odor-free option. 3 months later, she returned, beaming, "Doctor, I feel lighter, I'm sleeping better, and my husband says I'm nicer." I laughed because that's the quiet magic of omega-3s. Most Americans only get about 1/3 of the omega-3s they need from their diet if you rarely eat fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or herring. One purified omega-3 capsule daily around 1,000 milligrams EPA plus DHA is one of the simplest gifts you can give your heart, brain, and emotional well-being. Choose a brand tested for heavy metals and take it after a meal for better absorption. Aging may slow your heartbeat and blur your memory, but a little omega-3 each day can keep the spark of life burning bright in every cell. Because sometimes, heart health and happiness don't come from more pills, they come from nourishing yourself gently, with the oils of the sea. 5. Magnesium. Glycinate or citrate, the mineral of calm. Have you ever lain in bed at night, eyes closed but sleep just won't come? Your muscles twitch, your heart skips a beat, or your mind won't stop racing. Many people blame stress, age, or just another restless night. But after decades of working with older adults, I've learned that the hidden culprit is often a simple one: magnesium deficiency. Magnesium may be small, but it's mighty. It's involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, helping muscles relax, keeping your heartbeat steady, calming your nerves, and allowing you to fall into deeper, more natural sleep. I think of my patient Joyce, 76, who once said, "Doctor, I've tried every sleep aid out there, but I still wake up at 2 a.m. I just want to sleep like I used to." Her magnesium levels were low. I suggested magnesium glycinate, gentle on the stomach and easy to absorb, to take each night before bed. 2 weeks later, she returned with a soft smile and bright eyes. "Doctor, I slept 7 hours straight. No pills, no tossing and turning. Magnesium deficiency is incredibly common in adults over 60. As we age, our intestines absorb less, our kidneys excrete more, and many common medications like diuretics or acid blockers further deplete it." The result: fatigue, tension, irregular heartbeat, tight muscles, and restless nights, all creeping in so gradually that most people never realize what's missing. I usually recommend 200-400 milligrams daily, ideally in the evening. Choose glycinate or citrate forms for best absorption and fewer digestive side effects. And if you're on heart or blood pressure medication, talk with your doctor. Magnesium often supports natural rhythm and balance better than any pill. Magnesium doesn't just help you sleep better, it teaches your body how to relax again. Because sometimes, what we need isn't another medication, but a small moment of peace starting deep within every cell. Understanding and using supplements wisely, the key to healthy aging. Looking back at our journey through vitamins, one thing is clear: not all vitamins are created equal, and more doesn't always mean better. As we age, our bodies no longer absorb and process nutrients the way they did in youth. That's why supplementation must be thoughtful and targeted, based on real needs, rather than marketing claims or word-of-mouth advice. Medical experts have repeatedly warned that misusing vitamins can turn health boosters into hidden poisons. Older adults should be especially cautious with 5 high-risk supplements: high-dose vitamin E, synthetic beta-carotene, excess iron, high-dose multivitamins, and high-dose vitamin B6. These can harm the liver, heart, and nervous system and increase inflammation, bleeding risks, or even cancer if taken improperly. On the other hand, some nutrients offer real, lasting benefits when used correctly. Vitamin B12 supports memory and nerve health. Vitamin D3 strengthens bones and immunity. CoQ10 nourishes the heart. Omega-3 protects the brain and blood vessels. Magnesium promotes restful sleep, relaxes muscles, and balances energy. When taken in the right amounts, these supplements don't just support physical health, they help maintain mental clarity, cardiovascular health, energy, and independence well into later years. Aging is not the end of the road. It's a stage that calls for smarter care and thoughtful choices. Review your supplements, listen to your body, and prioritize what's truly necessary. If you found these insights helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can spread accurate information on healthy aging together. Because only by understanding and using supplements wisely can we not just live longer, but live healthier, happier, and more meaningful lives every day.